All right, and welcome back to this week's episode of Athletic Arena Podcast. We got Machiavelli. I'm G. And let's just go over last week real quick. Just a quick recap. We're not going to spend too long on it because we got a lot to talk about today. And I mean,
About to cover.
yes, a lot to cover. We got week 2 coming up for NCAA. We got NFL coming up. We got Kansas City and Detroit tomorrow. We got Pittsburgh and San Francisco on Sunday. We also got Cincinnati and Cleveland on Sunday. So we got a lot of games to go over real quick. And let's just jump to the record. Last week we went 15-7 on what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
6 of the games were due to spreads. That's it. And it was because Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, and Iowa State couldn't cover.
Georgia.
You heard it's big time, Georgia.
Heartbreak time for me in Georgia. I'm not really feeling Georgia, but I mean, it is what it is. Okay.
Well, not only that game, but UMass. I did say we were going to come back to the UMass game. Hey, and Auburn set it on fire.
As they supposed to.
Yeah. Like the first 3-4 minutes of the game, of course, UMass came out with a 1-2, scored quickly, and I was like, oh God, don't tell me UMass is going to cover. So I jumped online real quick, live betting on Bovada. Fucking jumped on there and was like, might as well put that they're going to cover real quick just in case. Yeah, lost that one.
Never do that, man.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. The other game that we did lose was Clemson and Duke. We said Clemson was just going to beat the snot out of Duke, and we were so wrong on that game. Clemson didn't.
I have like 2 homeboys that lost like a lot of that was the last leg of their fucking parlays, and oof.
Oh, don't tell me. I had LSU winning by 3.5, so 4 points, and it was the last leg of my parlay for about 800.
Oh, I told you,
bro. So I had 6 games that hit the night before. They all hit fine. And I'm like, all right, well, let me see what my cash out's going to be, because if my cash out's going to be at least a couple $100, like I'm taking the cash out. It was a $2 bet. Like, of course I'm going to take the cash out if it's $200. Like,
yeah.
Bovada did not give me a cash out fucking available the entire fucking day. I waited all day long up until the game. I was checking every hour on the hour for it. Never.
Oh yeah, that's what they do. Like, for my big one I hit, I actually called them and tried to cash it out. I was like, "This is the last. I only got 3 games left." You know what I'm saying? Can I cash out? It was like, "No, you can't cash out." And I was like, "Okay." Well, it sucked for them because I actually hit. So, what I mean, I hit. It was like a $4 bet for like what 246,000, and yeah. Oh well, they'll be all right.
Yes, and we have. I mean, we both have already put in bets for this week already for something that could hit. And if it hits, we're looking at that same amount right there. So let's jump right into it. And we have our first game up at week 2. We got Georgia and Ball State. Spread is 42.5. Do you see Georgia covering?
After what they just did to UT Martin, I mean, 50 isn't 41 or 42. I would move it to 41.5. That's actually one of the plans. That's not a definite thing for me. It's like a possible thing because Ball State just got destroyed by Kentucky, but Kentucky has Devin Leary, who transferred, was in the transfer portal from NC State. He was a Heisman hopeful last year also. They beat them by 30, so I could see it. it's possible. I mean, I wouldn't put all your eggs in a basket for that game though, like I did last week, because that cost me like 2 for 79. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I had them too. I mean, Georgia did not look like the number one team against a no name
UT
school.
Martin.
Yeah,
A
like
team with 2 wins. That's the whole, that's so. If you're the number one, this is my thing. If you're the number one team in the nation and returning, national champions, I know a lot of people left, but with recruiting and everything, you're still supposed to handle business like you supposed to handle business, like how Oregon did, how Oklahoma did. They didn't even win the championship. Like they actually look better than they did last year. Um, but they
oh,
didn't. So I'm
oh
just like, whatever.
yeah, to me, Oklahoma looked better than Michigan, Ohio State, and Georgia this weekend.
Ohio State looked.
We're gonna get to that game. That game's
Yeah,
next. That
yeah.
game is next because that I'm gonna stop right there. But Georgia, yeah, Georgia's offensive line looked suspect as hell. Like they couldn't run the ball, they couldn't get anything going. And then you let UT Martin score on you in at the end of the game. Like, really? 2.5 minutes left, you couldn't stop them. You stopped them all game. And that's why I say Georgia's a little suspect for number one. Now, the whole top three, top four, suspect. All of them.
Hmm.
So if you guys want to bet on this game, that's up to y'all. Um, but just in case y'all do, move that line down. If you can move it down to below 40, go with below
Yeah,
40.
definitely move it below 40.
Yeah,
Like,
even
if you can go, let's see, if I would say the lowest, safest one would be 37 and a half. Shit, if you could, I don't
I
think it'll be
I
possible to
agree.
move it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree 37.5, but I doubt they even let you go that low. Like I know
Yeah.
in some games, I guarantee it'll probably be like 41.5, maybe even 40. But I doubt they'll
Right.
let you go 39.
Yeah. Lowest you can put it. If I'll feel more comfortable doing it that way. But yeah, nah.
Or if you
Nah.
just want to do the safest bet, just take Georgia with the money line. I mean, if you're not on Bovada and you're on like FanDuel or DraftKings and you're able to take the money line, take the money line. That's the safest bet.
Nah, you still can't take it.
No,
Nah.
I
It's
haven't
just
seen him
it's,
for I haven't seen him for FanDuel. I mean, I've just
yeah, it's just a spread. For games like that, it's just spreads.
oh, see, there it is. That's all it is.
Super
All right.
obvious.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna move on to our next game. And like I said, Ohio State versus Youngstown. And Ohio State did not look the part. The
I
Don't get me wrong, they won. They won big. They did not cover. But if you're coming in and you're supposed to be a top four team and you're a top four team last year and you're supposed to be there again this year,
handle
just like
business like you
just like
posted.
with Georgia. Yeah, you're supposed to handle business. Like
Yeah.
offense wasn't really moving. I mean, there was really no rushing. I mean, that's what it was with a lot of these games. It was the younger school came out and punched the bigger school in the mouth, and they didn't know what to do for the whole first quarter. They couldn't stop anything.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I don't even have a spread for Ohio State and Youngstown, but if it's 40 points, do not take the spread. I mean, I don't trust Ohio State this week against the spread.
I think it's like 30. It's 30. It's in the 30s, but I would take Youngstown State to cover.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
it's
I
in
would,
the 30s, 30, even if it's 38, maybe that's pushing it. But 35, 36, 34, 32, I would take that Youngstown to cover. But again, I'm staying away from Ohio State this week on bets.
definitely.
They until they can prove to me that they did not look like a top five team.
Yeah, they
And
look like, I mean, field goals, and I was like, what? Indiana doesn't have anybody, but I mean, it is what it is. You just got. I mean, it's still early in the season, also, so I mean, it's a good way to to actually assess each team and by they go and
mhm,
see if they get better, and if not, then oh well.
yeah. Okay, so like I said, if y'all want safe bets, just take Ohio State money line. I doubt you'll be able to get a money line on that, but
Minus
Youngstown,
5,000.
yeah, minus 5,000. You ain't gonna get nothing. Put $100 down to win $12. Um, let's move on to our next one. We got Penn State and Delaware, and
Mm,
Penn State looked decent last week. They did
yeah, I mean,
they didn't cover, but it's Penn State. They're going up against Delaware, and I don't think Delaware won last week. I think they got spanked last
they
week.
won.
Did they?
Yeah, but they didn't play anybody good. So it's like for that one, it's Delaware, Penn State. It's Delaware, Penn State. It's like Penn State up here, it's Delaware. So, I mean, I would take the money line on Penn State. Right now, there's nothing up for either team, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I I mean, I had Penn State last week trying to cover at 20, I think 20 and a half, and they didn't even cover that. I think it was 18 or something like that. So with Penn State, I don't think I'm betting with Penn State this week. But we
Mm,
had it. These are games that we're going to talk about because some of you guys are looking for this information. So we're going to go ahead and talk about it. If you can bet on them and they're easy and gimme games, take the bets. Next game, Notre Dame and North Carolina State. Now, for
this is a
me,
gift.
yes,
This is a
seven and a
gift.
half for USC, and USC has been dominating for the last 2 weeks, like
NC.
blowing people out.
No, no, no. You said Notre Dame and NC State.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's only 7.5
Mm-hmm.
with Notre Dame and NC State.
NC State is not so they played UConn last week. And at one point, they were losing to UConn, and UConn's one of those teams, kind of like UMass. UMass broke their streak on them. It might be that Devin Leary's gone. Um, Notre Dame is looking amazing defensively and offensive wise. I'm definitely. I mean, this is me. This is me. The spread is 7.5. I'm pushing it to 9.5, and I see Notre Dame destroying NC State easily.
I totally agree with that one. That's what I was gonna say was if it's Notre Dame, like you take the spread, and if you push it to 9.5, maybe 10, 9.5, just so you can cover with 10 points. But
Oh yeah, I see it being worse than that, but yeah, trust me.
yeah, I mean that one, but I don't know. But there is also the possibility, and this is just I've been noticing, and this is what other people are talking about. Notre Dame opened up in Ireland. Then they traveled, then they came home, they played at home, and now they're traveling again. So they've already done more traveling than most
Everybody,
most
most teams
teams.
will do all season.
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
they have been on the road. So if they come out tired and flat, that's probably why the spread is so low at only 7.5. But just that is one thing to watch out for. I
mm,
am taking Notre Dame with the points. And like I said in my notes, just like you said, 9.5 if you can.
I mean, definitely you can be safe, put it at a touchdown, 6.5. But if you want to push this limit, which in this game, I mean, I'm doing two different things. One's going to be 6.5, another is going to be 9.5. But yeah,
It's just whatever odds that you're looking for.
mm-hmm.
You can look at a minus 110 compared to a plus 135. I mean, it's a little bit of a gamble, but you get way better odds. And then if it hits, that's when you start getting paid. So we're going to move on with our next one with Utah and Baylor.
Kind of the same thing. It's like a gift. So Baylor just lost to Texas State. I mean, maybe it's because their quarterback. Chapin, he just sprained his MCL. So he's out 2 to 3 weeks. Their starting quarterback is out 2 to 3 weeks going against, you know, Utah,
Utah.
and Utah looked great against Florida. You that's 6.5 I would take easily. If you want to be safe, money line, but that's 6.5. And I
It's
don't
eight.
see
It's 8.5.
it's 8.5 now.
It's 8.5. The last time I checked it, it's 8.5. So
Yeah. So I mean, if you can move it to 6.5, yeah. If not, I mean, me, this is me. Um, this is a game is definitely going to be 9.5 because of what they did to Florida, and I think Florida's a way better team than Baylor. So yeah, especially without their starting quarterback too. Yeah, gotta, yeah.
yeah. Well, see, Utah has one of the top defenses in the country, and
Hmm?
that's debatable. Now, their secondary might be the best in the country, but that still has to be
Still,
proven.
yeah, still
Now,
early in the season, but we'll go with it. What
yeah,
it is.
yeah. Baylor's running game is not there. Like Baylor has nobody there, and their defense gave up over 440 yards last week, total yards. With me, I'm taking Utah, the points. I'm saying 11 and a half, 12 and a half. I'm guessing 2 touchdowns.
I agree. Fully.
That's I mean, but that's gambling
Yeah,
right there. Like
yeah.
if you really want it, like that's gambling. You want to push it to 11 and a half or 12 and a half if you can, just so that way 14 points or even hell, a touchdown on a field goal. That's 10 points. 10 points is good. But I'm doing 11 and a half to 12 and a half this weekend. So whatever you guys want to do this weekend. But as far as the spread right now, I'm going to take Utah and the points. What about you? Utah on the points?
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely. Yeah, without their starting quarterback, I mean, he made their game so much good before he went out. I don't see them stopping Utah. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
If Florida couldn't do it, I don't see Baylor getting being close to doing it.
I agree. Now we're going to go to the team that to some people was a big shocker. Colorado and Nebraska.
Woo! There's a
And
lot going on with Colorado right now. That's like because they beat TCU, they're the number one betted team as far as winning the championship right now. Because I think it's like 100 to 1 now. And yeah, people are pouring in bets on them, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, one of the craziest bets is, but I mean, you have to look at the schedule with them, and that's so before because last year they only won one game,
yeah,
and that was against California in overtime.
yeah,
Uh, One of the crazy bets is, and like I said, you got to look at the schedule because they got a tough schedule.
they
Like,
do.
yeah, but it's for them to win 4.5 games.
That's it.
Oh yeah, it's minus 135.
Oh my jeez, take that bet. Take that. Take it.
Yeah,
Because if you remember last if y'all came back, I mean, if you're returning, viewers and you remember us talking about last week, we said I remember saying Colorado is going to cover this spread, if not win this game.
yep.
I came out before Pat McAfee said it on the Saturday morning show. So don't be jumping all over him. Like I did say it before him. And I'm all over it again.
Nobody, no, all these what is it, all these announcers and sportcasters. I mean, the ones that don't play sports was like, oh, there's no way. We don't believe. They believe now. They
They
stayed quiet when they was doing that second interview, and they believe now. They ain't want to say it, but they believe.
Oh yeah. Look at this. Uh Sims for Nebraska was 11 for 19 with 114 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 picks. He carried the ball 19 times for 91 yards. So Nebraska kind of runs like that little kind of like a Baltimore offense or a Philly
Yeah, read
offense
option.
where yeah, it's just read option after
He's,
all
you
the time.
see, that's the thing. He's just, and people found out the hard way. Like Colorado had, I mean, from Jackson, they had the number one corner in the nation from last year. Dion
Yes.
recruited the number one in the corner in the nation coming into school this year. And he has Travis Hunter, who plays both sides of the ball. You're not doing no passing like that. Not
Dude,
like that. I mean, TCU has an amazing offense. Don't get me wrong, but they still got picked off. Have you seen
yes.
the plays they got picked off?
Travis Hunter, oh my geez, that diving interception.
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
Bro,
He pretty much covered two people.
you can ask my wife. In my room, I had my TV on, I had my laptop playing, and then I had my phone. So I had 3 games going at once. But on my
Mhm.
TV, I was flipping through and hitting multiple games at a time. So when that pick went off and she heard me screaming, I'd already warned her before. Whatever you hear coming from that room, like it's college football. Don't worry about it. It's just the game. But yes, Travis Hunter, he was a dog. He he played over, what was that? I want to say that he played like over 100 snaps.
150 snaps.
Yeah, playing both sides of the ball.
That's
And
crazy.
and then Shador just broke almost, I think it was like 3 or 4 school records. He threw over 510 yards, 4 touchdowns. Him and I forget him and Travis Hunter, and then there was another receiver, I forget his name. They were tearing it up. And then Colorado's D line, they're working on it right now. Dion said he's trying to get more recruits in, but they will be better and they will give Nebraska hell this week.
Mhm.
For me, I'm taking Colorado to win and cover. And I mean, it's only 3 points. Like
That two and a half, I'll definitely like move it to 2.5.
that's
Leave it like that. You can't go wrong with that.
for me, that's a safe bet.
Yeah, that's like great odds. That's perfect.
For me, I'm moving this up to a touchdown. Just because they're
Just Matt Rule.
saying, yeah, it's a gamble.
Hmm.
What are
Yeah, but Matt
you
Rule, him and his offensive line is well, him and his offensive coordinator. The plays they call is they don't even. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah,
yeah.
it's not working for them, and they need something else. But
Yeah,
Matt Rule
Nebraska,
did the same thing in Carolina. He's, I
and
think he's a
not
big disappointment.
and not only that, but their defense, they don't even look like they're in shape. Like towards the end of the game, they just got tired. Their legs were moving slower, like they couldn't keep up. Like they were going back and forth, and they just couldn't do nothing.
Mhm.
So for me, like I said, I'm taking, and not only that, but this is the first home game for Coach Prime in Colorado.
The
So
ticket.
expect that's why I say move it up to a touchdown. If they let you go 10 points, 9.5. But
Mhm.
I doubt they'll let you go that big because, like I said, last year Vegas got killed on that shit last year. And James, well, Machiavelli will tell you, James will tell you right here, fucking that's one of the
That's part of the
reasons. That's one of the reasons
part of the
why
reason.
you can't bet that big because we were betting like that last year and hitting. All right, so on to our next game. Our next game, we got Kentucky versus Eastern Kentucky, and I don't have a spread on that game right now.
27.5. I'm going with it.
Oh,
That's easy.
just
That's easy work. That's easy work. Eastern Kentucky is one of those horrible teams. They just got blown out last week. Kentucky, like I said, Devin Leary, the NC State transfer, Heisman hopper from last year. He hey, lit it up last week. I cannot say how much I was like, let's go. But yeah, I'm all Kentucky on that spread. I mean, move it down as much as you can, if not. But me, 27.5 is perfect for that game.
yeah, see, I was gonna say about maybe 20 and a half, 21, 28, maybe. But I mean, Eastern Kentucky gave up 667 yards to Cincinnati last week. So I mean, when you give up that many yards, almost 700 yards, like
And they
it's
gave up that to pretty much a okay offense. You know what I'm saying? This
yeah.
is with Devin Leary, like he's one of those guys. So
He's got a little bit of that it factor. So if he can keep
yeah.
grinding on what he's doing, he could be big. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next game. And
Hmm.
I'm gonna say this right now. Before it even comes out, before we start, and you'll be able to tell what game we're talking next. Do not take this spread. They are not top 5. If Jim Harbaugh is not there, do not take anything with Michigan
Hmm.
because they gave up points late in the game. We said their defense was supposed to be a top defense in the country this year, and they look like crap.
Yeah.
They did not look like a top 5 team. And don't get me wrong, it could be because Harbaugh's not there calling the plays.
Yeah.
So whoever was calling the plays, it's just different for him right now. He may not have that experience. Don't get me wrong, Michigan won. Don't get me wrong, Michigan will win again here. But 36 and a half, almost 37 points.
The UNLV actually, I mean,
They're
they're
not bad.
recovering. Yeah, then they're actually the year before, a couple years before, they were pretty but they look really decent. And I'm
That's
not
why
gonna say decent to where they can compete with Michigan, but good enough to where I don't see them losing by 36 points. So
exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still see Michigan winning. I mean,
yeah,
unless like an asteroid hits the whole Michigan team and there's only Michigan's got a forfeit. That's the only way I see UNLV winning. But
mm-hmm.
not only
UNLV.
that, yeah, Michigan's run game wasn't. That's what we said last week. Like Michigan is going to tear it up with this run game in this backfield. But Corum was their leading rusher with only 73 rushing yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, so
Like they
I
couldn't.
mean,
The offensive line wasn't getting off their blocks. They couldn't get the running game established. So it's just because they were playing a no-name school is why they did not look like a top 5 team and why they won this past week. But that's my opinion. If y'all want to go ahead and go with the 36 and a half point spread, hey, that's on y'all. But I'm saying
I wouldn't suggest it. I would
I'd
not
move
suggest
now. If you can move, I doubt you can move it down to 28, but I would feel much better at 28. Maybe even under 30 a little bit, but I'm not seeing the 30. I'm not seeing 37. Not
it.
with
If it
not
was me, it would be the other way. I would take UNLV and try to push the line up even more just for that safety net. And if you could, 36, I'd move it to 38 if I could, plus 38 UNLV. You can't go wrong with that, especially with Jim Harbaugh not being there. That's the best.
yeah, take UNLV. Take UNLV with plus 38.
Yeah,
Like
that's the safest thing ever.
that could be what could be the odds. As a matter of fact, I mean, let me look at the odds real quick on that because that is actually kind of a smart little bet. And I want to tell you, I'll go ahead and tell you what the spread is right here. Michigan. As a matter of fact, it's up to 37 right now for the spread.
Mm-hmm.
So if
So
you
you can
move
move it to
it,
38.
oh yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yes. If you move it to 38, it's minus 135.
That's still cool. That's perfect. That's still perfect. That's
Yeah.
still great odds.
Yeah,
You
those
think
are
about it, a decent team going against a supposed great team without their coach and 2 other coaches that just didn't prove themselves against East Carolina. Who East Carolina, yeah, they went to a bowl game, but I mean, you're supposed to handle business. That's the whole thing. You're supposed to handle business. You don't
exactly.
handle business, you ain't got it.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't handle business like this next team we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M. Texas A&M, I told you, dog. What did I tell? I know it was not by halftime, but I told you. UNM football sucks, dog. I hate it. I hate it. We need better teams around here. That's why I go. My teams are not from here. Like, as you can tell, my teams are not from here. But Texas A&M, they're 4.5 point favorite against Miami. Miami had 200 over 250 rushing yards last week. Can A&M's defense stop Miami's offense? Is going to be a big question.
Um, it's a great question. It's gonna be a toss-up game. If I would have to pick any team, I would go uh probably A&M, Jimbo Fisher, and plus I don't like Miami. It's just a whole thing. But I would go Texas A&M just because Miami had, all those rushing yards, but they were going against Miami of Ohio. They should have done that. I mean, you know,
I actually had Miami. I thought Miami of Ohio was going to win, but that was just because of the little trash talk you see from some of the players, and yeah,
oh yeah.
they fed me a nice bowl of cereal and it was garbage. I can tell you that right now. I believed in them and they let me down. So here I'm thinking, if Miami comes out and just runs the ball like they do and chews the clock up, I mean, I could see a 4.5 point game. But if Texas A&M comes out and throws the ball like they did against New Mexico, I see Texas A&M actually pulling it off. I don't know about covering 4.5. I see a
And
3 point. I see a 3 point game.
yeah, it's a toss-up game. I definitely think it's gonna be down to the wire game, I think.
Yeah,
That's a
see,
game.
I'm
This is me. If I had to choose, it'd be Texas A&M, but me personally, that's a game I'm actually staying away from as far as betting wise.
that's what I was gonna just say. I just read my notes and I put a little star right here next to my note. Stay the fuck away from this game. But if I have to choose somebody, I feel Miami might upset Texas A&M just because we don't know about if Texas A&M's offense is going to be able to keep up with Miami's offense or even get past
Yeah.
the defense. You know what I mean? So for
Hmm.
me, I would choose, and for everybody else here, and so I have a statistic. I'm going to go with Miami on this one to either cover or win,
Got it.
because I mean, hey, I didn't stay up all night doing research for nothing to not go over my notes and sit here and choose against everything, because I did that last week on one game and I bit myself in the arse. So on to our next game, and I know you love betting against these motherfuckers, and this is a good spread to do it.
Two.
Miami of Ohio versus UMass, and Miami of Ohio is only a 7 point favorite
I would take Miami of Ohio easily.
by 7.
6.5. Keep it fair. I mean, yeah. UMass, well, you see what Texas A&M did to them. I mean, the teams they're playing. This Miami of Ohio, it's not NC State. I mean, not NC State. New Mexico State.
UNM.
Miami of Ohio, 6.5. And I'm going with that. That's
Yeah,
that's like that team right there is a gimme almost every time you see. Anytime like I look for that team right there. UMass and Temple, whew, a couple other ones. I don't want to say, but yeah.
I
But
don't know. Like, I don't know if it's because the way UMass came out against Auburn and kind of like punched him in the mouth a little bit and didn't back down for 5 minutes. um, like, if UMass could come out hot and just stay hot instead of when shit rolls downhill,
I'm like, it
you just,
crumbles and then they
yeah,
just
you
they just
crumble.
keep on going. They
Yeah,
keep falling and keep falling and keep falling.
exactly. Like, if they can stay hot, I see UMass covering the spread, because I mean, it was Miami of Ohio last week, and Miami, like, they didn't do nothing. So I mean, again, I put a little star here. Stay away from this bet because I'm not biting myself. But if I have to choose,
Miami of Ohio money line or 6.5. I mean, it's Miami of Ohio, UMass. I'm gonna go with anybody against UMass mostly, except Maine. If it's Maine playing UMass, then yeah, that's the worst team in the nation. But yeah,
that's see, and that's why because you kind of talked me into it. So you proved yourself last week. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it this week, and I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Now this next game, you don't even have a spread yet. I mean, it's gonna come out the day of, probably, if not the night of, or the night before. Wyoming and Portland State,
mm.
and Portland State, they gave up 80. Was it 81? 83,
Yeah,
73, something like that.
I think yeah, 81 points, 81-7.
They Kobe'd Portland State. Like, who drops 81 points in a college football game?
Yeah, I was sitting there looking at I was like periodically looking at the score while looking at other games, and I was like, hold on, oh my God, call the cops! They still scored. They still scored.
As a matter of fact, my phone just rang, and I believe they just scored again on Portland State.
Yeah,
Like,
it
they're
was
still
crazy.
scoring touchdowns on them. Like,
It was crazy. I was like, oh man, they still. I was like, oh, it reminded me of my homeboy how he was crying in Madden
yes,
about the computer running up the score on him, and I was like, he sounded
but
sad as hell. Like, oh man, they're running up the score on me. Like, they kept on going. It was like, I was
you
like,
said the
damn.
computer was running up the score on Madden on your homeboy.
Oh man, he sounded so sad. It was the best thing ever, though. He said, man. I
Tell
was
him
like,
I'll
what's
buy
wrong?
his console from him since he don't need it. I mean,
He said, yeah.
if you're getting the score ran up on you on Madden, like,
Deshaun Watson, he's running up the score on me. It's 2 minutes left, and he's still throwing touchdowns. They're up by 35 already. I was like, God damn, that's a
uh,
tough life.
tell him to go back to 2K.
But
I
they,
yes, I see here. I see Portland State losing by a lot. I mean,
I
if
give it
why
2 touchdowns. I don't know what they're gonna put the spread at though. But if it starts off, if it's 13.5, like
jump
around
on
that
it,
area, yeah, jump on it quick because
jump on it because before the game
Wyoming,
starts, it's going to jump up to 20, 30, 40 points. So I mean, if you want
yeah,
something quick,
Wyoming just beat that's actually crazy how they got everything set up. Wyoming's actually they just beat Texas Tech, who's playing Oregon, who
mhm.
ran up the score on Portland State. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It says I'm gonna take Wyoming to cover, depending if it's less than 30. I mean, if it's less than 30, jump all over it.
Quick,
If it's more than 30, be a little iffy, but
it's Portland State.
it's
Portland State
Portland
had
State.
one win last year. Those 1-win teams. That's well as you see how they are with this. I mean, there's a big difference in level of competition with these 1-win teams, and
Huge
that's
difference.
where you can make a lot of money if you focus on picking on them. If they don't want to get better, you should get paid. That's
Oh
how I
yes,
look at it.
yes. And then we're gonna go ahead and go to a 3 o'clock game, and we're gonna go to Washington and Tulsa.
Mm.
Washington is a 34.5 point favorite. I see big time offense coming from Washington this week.
Washington is offensively, they are super, super deadly. Tulsa looked decent, but
They
it's hard for me. Even with now, this is the thing. Even with Washington's offense being super deadly, and you know Michael Penix and his two receivers lighting it up, um, it's still hard for me to take 34 because it's not just a super trash team. Tulsa did decent last year. Um, if anything, I would take Washington money line. That's the safest for me. If I was gambling, I would take Tulsa with the spread.
okay, so but for your pick for this week, for this video in particular, What would you take? Would you take Tulsa to cover the 34?
Mm. I'll stick with moneyline Washington.
Yeah.
It depends on what's going on, because Tulsa is Tulsa, but I mean, which Tulsa you gonna get? You know which Washington you're gonna get. Which Tulsa you
Exactly.
gonna get?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I see Washington having a huge game there in their offense. I mean, yes, Tulsa can score some points, but Washington should be able to cover. I mean, especially if that defense can keep getting turnovers like they did last week, like they should
Hmm.
be able to I 35 points. I'm comfortable with 35 points just because the offense, I believe that offense could score quick and in a hurry. Oh, let's see what we got next. What's our next game? Oh, a blowout. We got Tennessee and Austin Payee. However you want to say it.
Um,
For me, I got Tennessee will win by 42 plus points. Safe bet 38.
yeah.
There's no spread on this one right now, so
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I see them probably. That's actually what I got to. Um, I see them probably putting the spread because it's Austin P. At, and because of what Tennessee did last week, they might put it to 48. Um,
I agree.
that's me personally. I'd go 37 and a half, but if they do 48, I don't know. I don't know. It's a
Well, I do believe didn't Tennessee score about 50 points this week or this last week?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Tennessee they're gonna average about 48 points a game, 46 points a game. I mean, it's a given. But I mean, if you could take 42, take 42 for a safe. I mean, if you want a safe bet, 42, even safer bet, 38. Because I doubt you're going to be able to take a money line on this game because it's Tennessee. I mean,
Hmm.
that's how I see that game.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go over to UNC and Appalachian State. And here's
Last year. You know what happened last year, right?
no, I did not watch this game last year.
So I got a couple friends. Both of them are divided. One went to Appalachian State, the rest are UNC fans. So UNC went in, they started dominating. They were up by 30. In the fourth quarter, Appalachian State stormed back. UNC only won by 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was some
Ooh.
crazy shit the way they only. So um the spread is like what, 17?
I
App
got
to cover.
18.
Yeah, app to cover easily. I don't. Hey, a rivalry. They know each other. I mean, yeah, I'm
What did the simulator say?
hmm? Simulator. It said that app's gonna cover. It said that they're only gonna win by 12.
See, I did not know that they were rivals.
Kinda, yeah. They're like right, not right there, but they're close in
maybe
distance.
maybe it's because Red's from North Carolina, so I kind of have a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
want to choose it for him. So I could see, yeah, I mean, you could change my mind and I could take Appalachian State to cover, but I mean, the way Drake May played last week, he played decent. He didn't play the greatest, but he was also playing
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina. Like South
Yeah.
Carolina is no pushover. They have a great defense, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say UNC to cover, but that's just me. And I hate saying UNC covers.
I know. That might be another reason why, but because I mean, like, I think they put up together combined, it was like 100, over 110 points.
Yeah.
But I got app covering.
Yes. Okay, so we're split on this pick. So for me, well, this is actually I think this is probably the only game we're split on this week. So just like last week, we were split on LSU and Florida State.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna put this one.
Ooh.
We're gonna put 1-1, just so we know, hey, that one's split for both of us. So that
Mm-hmm.
so that way our records can Because you're a little bit better than me right now by 1 game. I'm down 1 game, and I'm fine with that. But we're gonna move on to our next game. And to me, take this one. Jump all over this spread. Oklahoma and SMU. Oklahoma by 15. Bro, the way OU played last week, you can bump the spread up to 21.
Arkansas State, they just whew,
You can
they lay
bump the
down badly. Like,
yes.
yeah, you can bump it up to
You can
20.
bump it up to 24 if you want to. Like,
Keep it safe, move it to 13. But yeah.
and I have it here in my top notes. OU looked better than Georgia, Ohio State, and Michigan last week alone. And they what were they ranked last week? Like 23, 22?
No, they were like 15.
Something like that.
Yeah, they were 15 last
Oh
week.
yeah. And I've got OU top 10 after that. So if they
It's Arkansas State. I mean, that's one of those 3-win teams. So
okay, but like we just said at the beginning of the game with Georgia and Michigan
they handle business.
and Ohio State, yes, they did handle business and they won the game, but Oklahoma came out and did what they were supposed to. They look like that top 5 team. They
Yeah.
look like that team that is going to be there, the last 4 teams this year if they can keep it going like this. But for them to only go 15, like jump all over that. Take the points, bump it up 18 if you want to, 21 if you can, but 17.5 just to cover you. Always remember you want to if you're thinking 18, you want to drop a half a point below just so you can cover. You don't want to always choose on the dot. Now our next one. Duke and Lafayette.
Duke just got bumped up.
Yes. Did you see the spread on this one?
No,
Because
I don't think there is.
I was gonna say I couldn't find a spread for this one.
I
I
definitely
see.
Duke in that game.
Yeah, I believe Duke will win this game. If they run the ball the same way they did and they play the same way they did against Clemson, I mean,
Jordan Waters looked like he didn't have that many yards per se as far as rushing, but like he did running and receiving. Every time he touched the ball, he looked so much stronger. He looked like a whole different person than the dudes on Clemson, who pretty much was supposed to have a top defense in the nation. He made them look. He was putting them down, running them over. It was
definitely,
crazy.
definitely.
Yeah.
And next week when Clemson plays, I believe it's next week when Clemson and Florida State play, right? Or is it 2 weeks? See that game right there, Florida State's going to blow them out of the water. And that was supposed to be what Clemson was a top runner for ACC winner this year.
Yeah, now it's like Florida State easily.
Yeah, especially with them blowing out LSU the way they blew them out in the second half. So I mean, like I said, I see Duke winning I got them at 13.5. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what I got.
For this video for these video purposes and for content for everybody that wants to know about this game. I mean, we're gonna go with Duke to win.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns, just so that way we can say we got something down.
Yeah.
Now, to me, game of the week for college football, we got Alabama and Texas, and Alabama is a 7.5 point favorite. For me, it's hard to bet against Coach Saban. That's like betting against Tom Brady. You just don't do it. I mean, yeah, unless he's playing Eli Manning, then that's a different story. You bet against Tom Brady. But Alabama I believe Alabama is the better team. They're the better team on paper. They're better coached. But Texas has that head coach that used to coach under Nick Saban. And he's trying to become the third coach to be able to beat Nick Saban that used to coach under him.
hmm They were in a dogfight last year. They had a better quarterback. They
And this
also
is
had Bijan Robinson. But yeah, it's
and this is going to be Alabama's first true test against another top ranked team. And
yeah.
so thank you, NCAA, for giving us these games early instead of making us wait towards the end of the season for these. Like, I'm going to take Alabama and the points on this one. If you can bump it up, I got the get. I mean, if you want to gamble, push the line to 9.5. If not, take Bama with the points or just straight money line. That's me.
Hmm. Me, I would go Texas with the points. This is me. This honestly a game I'm gonna stay away from, but I would go Texas with the points just to be safe because it was like a field goal game last year and Alabama barely scraped away. But just me, I'm going Texas with the points
Okay, so this is 2 games we're split on.
because I'm like, you know. But yeah, that's just me.
Now this next game, Pitt versus Cincinnati. And now this isn't NFL, or we'd be, as you could tell, we'd both be talking mad shit. But this is college. I don't see no defense going to be played in this game. The last 7 games between them, since he's won 4 out of 3, Pitt is 2-5 against the spread in those 7 games. Um, yeah, Pitt's good, but it seems like when they play Cincinnati, it's a bit of a rivalry, and Cincinnati just don't make it close. They just blow them out of the water. So for me, I'm going to take Cincinnati to either cover or win. So I'm going to take Cincinnati and the points here.
Cincinnati straight up.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's what I was going. I mean, don't get me wrong, Pitt is a good team, but I don't know what it is. Every time you play against Cincinnati, it's like y'all lay an egg or just Cincinnati. Even the last 3 games y'all played against them, Cincinnati's blowing y'all out by 3 touchdowns,
hmm
which is hard to say because
Well, no,
normally,
before, well, a couple years ago, they had Desmond Ritter, who's like one of the winningest quarterbacks.
yes.
But
And
yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong about that, but the way I see it, it's like I like to bet for Pitt. When I see Pitt playing against a team, I'm ooh, Pitt's about to win. What's the spread? Oh, 7 points. Pff, take it. They're gonna win by 20. And they usually do. That's why I like Pitt. But looking at what they do up against Cincinnati, I'm taking Cincinnati this week.
yeah, Cincinnati money line. That's what I'm going.
You go on money lines? Safe bet.
Y'all.
All right. So our next game, 5 o'clock. We got the Oregon Ducks and Texas Tech. Oregon's favored by 6.5 by a touchdown.
uh, I would take that easily. I would take that 6.5 over Texas Tech with my eyes closed. Texas Tech just lost to Wyoming, who's eh, they should have won. Texas Tech was like a 10-point favorite, and Wyoming beat them.
Yeah,
So they're going against Oregon, who just, well, as you heard earlier, destroyed Portland State. So I don't see them. Yeah,
that's what I said. What was it?
Oregon.
The Oregon Duck mascot had to do over 100 push-ups, or what was it? He did seven. What was it? 793 push-ups or some shit like that.
hmm
That duck is a dog. I don't care what anybody said. That's a lot of push-ups
Yeah.
for one football game. Um, but that's what I have too. I have the same thing. Tech had a close game against Wyoming and they couldn't get it done. Um, and with Oregon just blowing out Portland the way they did, I've got Oregon winning by at least 10. That's just me. And
Okay.
you so our next game is LSU and Grambling. This one again, they have no spread on this one, but I
Yeah,
see I see
it's
LSU winning big in this
They're gonna
game.
have it. They're gonna have it like at 40, 48.
Um,
That's one of those teams. Grambling is at the bottom. Like if they play especially like a ranked team or somebody that with a name, is
mm.
it gets ugly. So they're gonna push that spread. They're waiting for the last minute because those are games to where if you add that with other games, that-
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
you're gonna
people are gonna
win.
lose money. Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of Vegas are gonna lose money. So it's gonna be 48 to 50. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a crazy spread.
Yeah, see, that's
So
what I was gonna say the same thing. I mean, I wouldn't take LSU unless it's less than 40 points. I mean,
mhm.
they lost huge last week. Don't get me wrong, they're a good team. First half, they were killing it first half, going back and forth. It was a great game. And then second half, they go into the second half with a 3-point lead and just don't score for the rest of the fucking the rest of the game. They didn't fucking score. They can do nothing against Florida State. They couldn't get stops. They couldn't score. They couldn't move the ball, and they couldn't even return a punt. Like that really pissed me off. Like, how are you gonna go and lose 3 punts last year and the very first punt this year, you lose a punt again this year? Like
Mhm.
that should have been drilled all off season. Like for me, if you I'm stayed away from this game. Like I said, if it's LSU more than 40 points, stay away from it. That's just my
Definitely.
suggestion. That's what I got. Now our next game, we got Florida and McNeese. Florida should have a great game this week too. I mean, there's no spread on this one either. Florida should
It's the
win.
same thing.
Florida should win by what 38, 48 points. I mean, 48's pushing it. Um, 42. I'd feel more comfortable 38 to 42.
I would stay away from that game. They're going. It's going to be the same thing. They're going to push it probably 40, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, that's what I
If it's
have
not
for.
30, if it's not 28 to 30 for me with Florida, I'm not messing with it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was with those, but we got some LSU fans and some Florida fans that they come in and want to check it out. So we got Florida State and Southern Miss. Florida State is a 30.5 point favorite.
Moving it to, I'm a Florida State fan. I'm moving it to 27 and a half, and I'm comfortable. I'm happy with that. I definitely see that happen easily.
See, and I say after watching that game last week, they could be a top 5 team.
We are top five.
Like that's what I'm seeing. Like FSU could actually beat if they beat Clemson. Look for FSU to be the team to come out of the ACC and possibly top 4, maybe be there in the playoffs. But depending on how that goes, I like I said, I got Florida State covering this week 31. I can't change my mind anymore. I mean, I got spanked. Of course, I'm gonna go with the team that just beat the shit out of me. Like it's only fair. Like you get your ass whooped, you learn. Okay, let's go with this one. Okay, I know they're gonna be a better team. All right, cool. Boom. What do you got?
Hmm? Florida State, man.
Florida State. All right.
I mean, safer, 27 and a half. But yeah, if anything, I'll keep the 30. But me being safe is 27 and a half is always the whole touchdown field goals thing. You're going to stay in between. You're going to use your math and stay between that with everyone if you're
Right.
doing anything. Taking spreads, stay in between those those levels.
That's what I got too. So for next game, USC versus Stanford
Mm.
is I don't get it's a 30 points for USC. Are they just disrespecting Stanford, or is Stanford just not that good this year,
Stanford hasn't been good in a while.
or is it just USC is just gonna dominate?
No, ever since a couple of years ago, everybody they haven't been getting real good recruits. So it's been in between that and then whether USC's power offense with Caleb Williams is that's why the spread is where it is.
I see. I see. Yeah, because I was gonna say I don't see. I mean, I see USC winning, but by 30 points. If Caleb Williams keeps going the way he's going, he could be the first round pick in the NFL draft, if not top five.
One.
Well, did you? Speaking of Caleb Williams, did you see what his father said?
No.
That if they don't like the way the draft falls or what it looks like, they'll just keep him in for another year at USC.
It's crazy.
Yeah, could you imagine that?
That's crazy.
He's got 3 chances to win back-to-back Heisman's.
That would be a first, but I mean, hey.
I mean, I've never seen a back-to-back Heisman winner, but we'll see if he can do it again this year. So, I mean, for this video, I'm going to take USC in the points.
Mm, if I would go the same, just because it's struggling offense versus Jesus Christ offense. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, the main thing with this is not about their offense, it's really their defense. But yeah, we'll see.
Cool. And for, I believe this is our last game, and then we'll go on to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn and California.
Auburn
6
right now.
Yeah,
I'm
6.5.
cute. Yeah, 6.5. You know why? Because there's a difference between Colorado. This is what I look at. So California last year was a 2-win team. Colorado was a 1-win team. They already got that 1 win, and Colorado got that win against California. Like I said, they haven't made that much improvements. They actually played, I mean, subpar team anyway. Got to win, but Auburn, yeah, Auburn 6.5. That's another gift you're getting. You're
That's
getting a gift.
that's what I was
Like
gonna say. Um, I have safe bet money line on Auburn, or if you want to take the points at 6.5, and if you want to gamble, I'll bump it up to 9.5 for Auburn. That's me. That's my choice. I'm taking Auburn with the points. And with Rhett right there, we are going to move on to the NFL.
doo-doo-doo.
Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. I mean, I don't have my own sound effects right now, so I mean, I guess we can make sound effects with our voices, and we'll be all right with it. We're gonna start with our first game up. We got Kansas City and Detroit tomorrow night.
Ooh, uh, they were really calling for an upset. Like a lot of people put in bets for Detroit because they're like, "Oh, Detroit's going to upset. They're going to do a lot of things this year." Well, I mean, a lot of people might have got their wish with this first game because you're not going to see Travis Kelce suiting up. He hyperextended his knee. I mean, he's not hurt to where he's out for the season or towards ACL. His ACL is intact, but he's not going to make it for this game. Also, with that holdout, with I
Chris
mean,
Jones.
team not playing paying players. Chris Jones, he's holding out. He's not going to make that game either. After probably third, fourth game of this, probably holdout, and they struggling. If they're struggling and they're losing, oh, they're going to pay him. They're going to pay him. They're going to be like, okay, we'll pay you.
Yes.
But for this one, I see Detroit if the spread's at what -4 at 4, right?
5. Well,
5.
since I started looking at it, and this was last night about 9 o'clock, it was at 5.
Detroit easily.
See, that's what I got. I got Detroit to cover,
Mm-hmm.
to cover the spread. I mean, if you want to, you can move up your points for Detroit to
It's
cover up to 2.5. I got it a 3-point game, but
safe. I would, if I could move it up, then I would move it up to, and it's at 5, 7.5. That way, you're still good if they score a touchdown and lose. So, boom,
but
that's what I get.
to me though, I mean, it's Kansas City. You got Patrick Mahomes. Unless this is the year that Kansas City dynasty falls and they're not going to do any good this year. If Kansas City isn't playing the Raiders the Chargers, or the Bengals, it's hard to bet against Kansas City. Don't get me wrong.
No.
Don't get me wrong. Detroit is supposed to be a better team than last year, and last year they took Kansas City to the brink and
They
almost
took
beat
the
them.
Eagles. Look, they took the Eagles to the brink.
Yes,
Hey, swept Aaron Rodgers, something Matt Stafford couldn't do. As soon as he seen that, Aaron Rodgers said, "Oh, I'm leaving the division." So,
pretty much.
hey, that's why I'm taking the Detroit Lions with
That's
the points.
I agree. I will go the same right there. Detroit and the points. So we're both same on that one. By 2.5.
I'm pushing it up, either keeping it at 5 or moving it up to 7.5, just to be safe.
Okay, so we'll just keep it at 5 and we'll just say Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So our next game, Arizona and Washington. Terry McLaurin is questionable. Um, but Arizona has a lot of issues. I mean,
They only have realistically right now Buda Baker on their defense.
that's probably the only player that they have. Like
Yeah,
honestly, because Kyler Murray is not going to be playing.
on
Um,
offense they just have James Conner, Hollywood Brown, uh, Zach Ertz,
yeah,
and yeah, it's uh,
I see
they're
Sam.
Washington with Sam Howell. I
That's
mean,
where I was going to go.
I would only because of defense. Defense mainly. Defense, I gotta go Washington money line.
Washington money line.
Money line.
Not even points, huh?
No, 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 no.
Okay, so see, I was gonna say too. I mean, yeah, Terry
It's
McLaurin is questionable, but he should suit up. He is gonna play. I mean, he played questionable all year last year like that. So I mean, I'm thinking Washington too, straight up. So yeah, we're gonna go there. And then we're gonna go to the Panthers and the Falcons.
mm,
To
first
me,
look at Bryce Young and Bijan Robinson. Mm. Um, uh, that's a good one. The Falcons. What's the spread at?
3.5 for the Falcons.
Mm,
I'm gonna tell you my point, my thoughts right now. Take
mhm.
Panthers. Take the Panthers to win. Money line.
Yeah.
Yes. They got better on defense. They've got Von Bell back there. They brought
So,
in
yeah.
they brought in Hayden Hurst at tight end. They got Bryce Young. Um,
BJ Sharp,
yeah, and then you know,
Leland.
they got what's the running back for Carolina?
Oh, Miles
Freeman.
Sanders.
No, is it do they have Miles
Yeah,
Sanders?
yeah, from Philly.
Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
they brought in they got 4 running backs. And not only that, like to
Yeah.
me, yeah, Atlanta's got 4 running backs on their roster, including Bijan. And I mean, Bijan's a rookie and is unproven against number 1 team players. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, you did good against in preseason against third stringers, fourth stringers, practice squad players. But what are you gonna do when you're out there against
Number ones, them
uh,
ones,
a Von
ones
Bell
and ones.
or a TJ Watt or a Trey Hendrickson
And
or
they got Brian Burns too. So
that's
and
that's
Derek
exactly
Brown.
my
So
point. I
oh
mean,
yeah, okay, I can see that.
I don't
I would take I would you would take the money line. I would take the Panthers with the points then. Because yeah,
I'm just gonna
it's just
gamble on it and say because I mean when I seen a lot of our players that I liked from Cincy and they were being traded off to they left for Carolina, I'm like, hold up, let me look at this roster because if they bring in a quarterback, like they're gonna be good. They got good skill players wrapped around Bryce Young. So I mean, that's what you do. You surround your rookie quarterback with solid skill players around you. and Carolina did that. So I mean, I can agree. I would say money line Panthers flat out winning it, just because NFL spreads are too wild and hard to predict. But Panthers, I agree with you. Panthers with the points on this one. Next game, we're gonna go to Cleveland and Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a 2.5 point favorite. And I'm going to tell you why. Burrow is 1-4 against the Browns since starting. But he's freaking 3-1, 4-1 against Kansas City. I don't know what it is when Burrow plays. When the Bengals play against the Browns, we just can't do nothing. But a lot of it is because of Myles Garrett and the offensive line. Now we have Orlando Brown coming in to play that left tackle. I mean, we got Volson, Kappa, and Karras returning, and then Jonah Williams is going to be at right tackle. So it's going to be a toss-up to see what Jonah can do at right tackle, but I've only heard good things coming out of camp and practices and everything else. I do see Cincinnati winning by 3. That's not being biased because I'm a fan. If I was my honest opinion, we're winning by 10. But we're playing the Browns, so I am a little worried we could lose. So I'm just going to take Cincy and the points in this one. Let me guess. I wish both teams would lose.
Be honest, yeah.
Yeah, fuck you and your tie.
To be honest, yeah. If I had to go with a team, it's
I want to hear you say it.
Cincinnati.
I want to hear you say it again. Say it again.
If I had to go with a team, I mean, it's Cincinnati. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, Jamar, that whole dynamic offense, their amazing defense, with Trey Henderson coming off the edge on defense. Deshaun Watson, he just robbed the bank, man. I don't care what anybody say. He robbed the bank.
Hey, he got his deal, but like
He
I've
got
been
his deal. He
trying,
got his deal. Hey.
he got his deal. He's getting paid, but like I've been telling people, you cannot be away from a team. You cannot be away from the game for 2 years straight. 2 years.
Not even that. It was like, oh, well, he led the league in passing and he runs like this and run like that. He was throwing the ball in garbage time. Like they were getting blown out. And that was when the division they were in was trash. Like Jacksonville Jaguars got the number 1 pick. So he was doing that stuff in garbage time. That's how, they got this stuff.
Right. Yeah,
But,
yeah, I got the same thing. If you want to gamble 5.5 to 7 points, 5.5 to 6.5 for Cincinnati. But that's just me. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go with Houston and Baltimore. Baltimore is a 10-point favorite, and Lamar Jackson returns with possibly his best skilled players that's around him right now. This is probably the best ones with OBJ, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and of course Nick.
Josh Dobbins.
Yeah, Josh Dobbins. I don't know why I was thinking Chubb. I don't know why I was thinking. And then Houston, they've got a bunch of issues. They're looking better than what they were, but if Lamar,
yeah, they got they got pieces too from all over. They got Jimmy Ward at safety, that cornerback, the rookie from last year. They got who is it, the tight end. So they got pieces, but I mean,
yeah, I think this is honestly, if the Ravens are going to do something, it needs to be this year. But
yeah,
Lamar, everybody knows Lamar can run, Lamar can make plays. But his arm. Don't get me wrong, he's dropped some bombs. He can throw the ball, but he's not accurate with the ball. And that's what gets Baltimore into trouble is he's inaccurate. He's unable to make these throws. And he kind of gets himself into trouble in some of these games. A lot of people say he gave up last year in the playoff game against Cincinnati. And A lot of Baltimore fans are upset with him, but I guarantee if he starts winning, I actually got Baltimore second in the AFC North, followed by Pittsburgh and then the Browns. Yes, we're gonna win it again, back to back to back.
We'll get to that.
Oh,
Oh,
we will. But
yeah.
I mean, we're still in the AFC North. We're still talking about Baltimore and Houston. I mean,
Baltimore, last time they went against a rookie quarterback, it was Josh Rosen, and whew, they pretty much ruined his career. So
pretty much.
I look at I see this the safe bet 6.5, but it might turn ugly. Like it might be really ugly. Like it.
Honestly, I hope Baltimore loses. I hope Houston comes out, and I don't care if it's a 3-point win or not. I just hope Baltimore loses. I mean, I already know. I mean, we'll get to that. I'll keep that for later. But
Yeah.
for Baltimore, yes, but don't get me wrong, it's Baltimore and Houston. Baltimore will win
Mhm.
this game. I'm taking Baltimore with the money line. I'm not taking points or the spread or anything like that. I'm just going to take them to flat out win because you never know with Houston. Houston can come out and
Shows, yeah, it might show
make it a
something
game.
different.
They can make it a game and actually rattle Lamar a little bit, and you never know. But I hope Houston wins, but I'm going to go with Baltimore, and it breaks my heart to say that.
Um, Baltimore by touchdown. Baltimore by as much as I mean, my safe one is Baltimore by touchdown. Um, if anything, I would push it because it's CJ Stroud's first real game against, and Baltimore has a defense, so it's gonna be hard. And Ohio State quarterbacks can't deal with hybrid defenses. Um, Justin Fields,
I will
CJ
say it
Stroud.
again.
So
I,
I'm
I
going with it. It might be ugly. It might be ugly. So if you push it to 2 touchdowns, push it as much as you can. I see you being cool with anything. So
the
Baltimore. Yes.
I'll say it again. Ohio State is not good at making NFL quarterbacks. They're great at making college quarterbacks. But the best one is Justin Fields, and he's with the Bears, so look at how that's going. That's all we gotta
Mhm.
say about that. No,
Second
you
overall.
can no, you cannot claim Joe Burrow OSU. No, you cannot claim him. But that's another story for another day. We're gonna move on and we're gonna go with Jacksonville and Indy. The Jaguars are a 5.5 point favorite. I mean, with Indy being one of the worst teams last year, you got Josh Taylor probably not playing.
Jonathan Taylor's not playing. He's on the
Yeah,
pup list. So I would
yeah.
see I would take Jacksonville by a field goal and leave it at that. That's easy open and shut. Um
I don't know, man. I don't know. Anthony Richardson, he's making his debut. There is a lot
Mhm.
of hype around him coming out of the draft, saying he was statistically the number one quarterback on paper. And from the draft and coming out of the draft, there's a lot of hype on him. Um, Indy took him. Let's see what Anthony Richards is going to be able to do. I mean, in the preseason, he made a few plays, but again, that was against second, third
Yeah,
practice
that's what I'm
squad
saying.
players.
So, I mean, I still say Jacksonville. Jacksonville looked great last year. Trevor Lawrence is getting Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne killed. He's got weapons. So Jacksonville by field goal.
I
I
see.
want-
I
I
could
do
see
want
that.
to see what Anthony Richardson does. That'll give me better judgment than from what I'm just. Oh, he was somewhat decent in Florida. He made athletic plays, but I was in college. This is a whole different level. This is people on your level and even higher. So we're gonna see what he does with his decision making and everything, and go from there.
Yeah,
But
I agree with that. I mean, and not only that, I mean, you got Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is coming back. Travis, like you said, Travis Etienne, and I think Etienne's going to have an even bigger year than what he did last year. This is what his second or third?
Third.
This is going to be his third. Okay, so usually for running backs, third year they make a bigger leap. Third year, he had a great second year, so let's see if he makes that leap this third year. And if you
Mhm.
have him on fantasy, start this kid. Start him this week. And I'm saying that because I have him this year. I got him and Mixon this year, so let's see. I hope they do. I'm kind of screwed in the running back department this year in fantasy, honestly. But that's another topic for another day. If y'all got questions about fantasy, hit us up. We anything about sports, we'll talk about, we'll go through. Y'all just let us know down in the comments. We're gonna move on to the Raiders and the Broncos. You got a divisional game. You got Jimmy G versus Russell Wilson for the Trash Bowl.
Um,
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
it's
But yeah, but
it,
yes,
I see it
you
a hard game, a defensive game. Um, I see it a low scoring game, honestly.
really.
Uh, yeah, I do
I
see the Raiders winning, but that's only because I mean Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. That's it. There's
hold.
I don't
So you're taking the Raiders even though they're underdogs?
yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm probably okay. Yeah. No, can't do it. Nope. Give me the better coach. I mean, you got Sean Payton coming in. I mean, it is Russell Wilson. I think he's going to take a better step this year than, oh my God, hopefully than what he did last year, because last year it was trash. Um,
Last year I seen so many memes. It was funny,
I,
but
I've got. I mean, I
that's,
know.
that's one of the reasons why I'm taking the
I
Raiders with this one.
I know you're up in Colorado, and I know you probably hear. I mean, you're not too far from Denver, so I mean,
Mhm.
you hear a lot of the rumblings and shit. But there's this is pretty much the New Orleans Saints 2.0. You don't have Drew Brees. You got Russell Wilson. Jerry Judy is going to be. I don't know if even Jerry Judy's going to be playing. I know he got injured in the preseason. And they
Mhm.
said
I
he was
think
going to be out several weeks, so I believe he's going to be questionable. Um, I don't know. I said Raiders are going to cover the spread. I think Jimmy G is going to come out and connect with Devontae Adams. I mean, Brady just took over he has some ownership now in the Raiders. So I think with
Mhm.
having Brady there with Garoppolo, they're going to be having some kind of communication during the game. So, I mean, you can't tell me the fucking owner of the team cannot call down and talk to his players during the fucking game. I mean, you're not going to tell me that's not possible.
Yeah.
So I think I mean, yeah, I could see the Raiders winning, but I've got them covering. I don't winning is an if, but I see Russell Wilson having an off game again. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Let's go to Tampa Bay and Minnesota. Minnesota is a 5.5 point favorite. You got Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson returning, and they had a great season last year. I mean, Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. Everybody knows the rumors. If it's a primetime game, bet against them. Fortunately, this is an 11 o'clock game, so we don't have to worry about any of that.
You got Baker at quarterback, which that's a whew,
But you never
it's
know.
a
You never know with Baker because Baker could come out like he did when he came out with the Rams last year, and he just came
yeah.
out and dimed everybody up.
Well,
And
that's the thing. He still got a great defense. They might be able to cover him to hold him over, but against this offense, I mean,
no,
I
no,
don't. I would still push it just because this is me. This is. I mean, a safe bet would be Vikings money line and regular. I would push it to a touchdown on this. I would push it to a touchdown. Honestly.
honestly, me, and this is just how I see it because I mean, yeah, Baker Mayfield has his games. He even a clock is right twice a day. Or how does it? What is it? Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I mean, it's just like Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's gonna have a game or two where he falls the fuck out,
Yeah.
but I just don't see Mayfield. I don't see it. I mean, he's been in the league for what 4 or 5 years now. He did nothing but run OBJ and his other teammates out of Cleveland. He pretty much ran himself out of Cleveland. Like, I don't see it. I mean, Tampa was just needed to grab a quarterback. Maybe they're waiting to grab a quarterback this year in the draft, and they're just like, "Well, screw it. We'll go with Mayfield. He's cheaper." Um, but I got Minnesota going winning at least by 10, and that's gambling right there. But
Yeah.
Minnesota will win.
Oh yeah.
That's how I got it. Um, let's go to this fucking game because we can talk about this game for a few minutes, and I mean a few minutes, because we got the Niners and we got your fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. Brock
TJ.
Brock Purdy is returning from elbow surgery in March. Kittle is questionable, but he's recovering from that adductor strain. Um, honestly, if you're
He's gonna
Pittsburgh,
have to eat his fucking Wheaties, bro.
honestly,
TJ is
and
coming.
I'm glad you're talking
TJ
because
is coming.
this makes
TJ is coming.
this makes this comment even better. If you're a fucking Pittsburgh fan, you're gonna fucking hate me because you guys are not gonna win this game. I don't care about fucking TJ Watt. Okay, it's one fucking man. It's TJ Watt, and that's all there is back there. You can get by
No.
Devin Bush. You can get by anybody in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
I don't.
Devin Bush, he's gone. But
This is going
for
to
one,
be
he can't throw the
Pittsburgh's.
ball
No,
because
no, no,
Minka
no.
Fitzpatrick, the best safety in the NFL, is back there.
Trash. I had Minka Fitzpatrick on my fucking fantasy last year, and he fucking let me down. So yes, trash.
He
Don't
led the
even
league
get
in
me started.
interceptions.
Nope. This is going to be Mike Tomlin's first losing season under at Pittsburgh. You're not gonna like it. Pittsburgh fans aren't gonna like it, but y'all aren't used to losing this bad. And I'm a Bengals fan. 30 years of fucking losing. I know. I fucking know. Trust me. And right now, yes, you got a decent quarterback. You got a great fucking wide receiver in George Pickens. The dude can make plays. The dude can ball. But the dude didn't even have fucking audibles or hot routes last year for his games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you going to go from that to a team that makes it to the playoffs?
Well, he still had a winning record.
Barely. Barely. And that's because you guys got help last year at the end of the season. And you
No. And we
yes.
got TJ Watt back healthy. That's one.
But
With
that's
this
the
game,
other, but that's
I'm
the other,
looking at it like this.
that's
George
another
Kittle not going to be 100%. He's going to have to deal with TJ Watt, and he's at 110%. Then you have no Nick Bosa because they don't want to pay the dude. I mean, their money is all screwed up with their cap. Uh, Brock Purdy, he hasn't faced a defense like this yet,
he's
and
gone
that's with
against the number one defense in the league in the Niners the whole time.
nah. That's the thing. They're not us. Healthy, they're not us.
Oh
Remember,
my
we're the team that led the league in sacks for the last 5 years, besides last year. TJ was hurt, but there's a big difference this year.
and that's
So,
because Philadelphia has fucking everybody and the brother over there on defensive line. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens this year. Well, I mean, the Eagles have all these people healthy, and they got all these other people. But the truth is, with the Eagles, and I'm not being biased, only 80% of the teams they played were like injured and were so that's another thing, you know. Like they played the Texans last year, which screwed me, and then I realized who the Eagles were. They played the Texans last year, and I was like, oh, they'll easily win by a touchdown.
oh well,
Now I don't know.
this is the thing though. The AFC is stacked this year. And I mean fucking stacked
Yeah,
like
but
a
the
fucking flap of
AFC,
fucking pancakes.
yeah, but the AFC is different from the NFC. You know that. It's the NFC is kind of, it's okay. It's not. It's a different caliber.
Trust me. Cincinnati's gonna win.
Mhm.
beating Cleveland. Baltimore's gonna lose thanks to fucking Houston. The Niners are gonna kick the shit out of you guys, and that's gonna straight up put us in fucking first place off of one game, and y'all guys one game behind already. The whole division. Because you got to remember, you got Debo Samuel coming back. I don't care about George Kittle. You got Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, this offensive line you still got, what's his name? Trent Taylor. The offensive line for the
Yeah.
Trent Williams for the offensive line for the Niners is just, they're great. I mean, if Brock Purdy, look for the running game early. Couple of screens to get Purdy rolling and moving and shit like that. Watch out. Do not throw a screen TJ's way. Trust me. I fucking Burrow learned 4 fucking times last year in the opening game. Bro, that was a wild one because we were in Nashville for that game, and the bar, it was me, it was Bacho, Zippy, Maria, and another dude. I forget the guy's name. He's a big old black dude, and we found this bar near fucking the airport in Nashville, so that way we can just watch the games because none of us had flights out till fucking like 6 or 7 o'clock that night. So we were like, well, let's just go sit at a bar and fucking watch football all day and drink beer. So the bar we found was a fucking Minnesota Vikings fucking fan base bar. I was trying to watch the rest of the game. Game went into fucking overtime. Packers and Minnesota started, so they kicked me the fuck out of the bar, put their game on, and there was like 30 something TVs with just Minnesota game on. We got kicked out, and here me, Bacho, Maria, and Zippy are all trying to watch the game off of my phone, trying to figure out who won the fucking game at the end in front of the bar. That's how fucked up we were that weekend. It was a fun fucking weekend. But back to this. But yes, I got the Niners winning. I mean, oh yeah, and by the way, Zippy said the Niners are winning. Fuck you.
Steelers by touchdown.
Okay. We are going to be, I
It's,
knew we
it's,
were going to be split on this one.
oh
And
yeah, it's Steelers with the points and Steelers by touchdown betting wise.
fucking crazy.
I'm telling you.
Do not listen to this man when it comes to that. I'm telling you. The Niners are going to kick the shit out of Pittsburgh.
They're missing too many pieces. Too many pieces.
I'm always going to pick against Pittsburgh, bro. I fucking I boycotted Pizza Hut because they put Antonio Brown on the fucking as their spokesman. And I love fucking Pizza Hut. You can ask my wife that. She
Oh
will fucking
man.
tell you. I boycotted it, and I even called and made a complaint and told them you lost a loyal customer by putting Antonio Brown and the Pittsburgh Steelers on your fucking box. You could have put the Dallas Cowboys on there, and I still would have bought it. But because you put the Steelers, I'm boycotting you until you take this team off.
Just remember, it's Sixburg Steelers.
Keep living in the past, buddy. Fucking sounding like a Cowboys fan now. Get out of here with that shit. All right,
That's the difference.
no, there ain't no difference.
It is.
There's
Cowboys
the only difference is
won anything since they started drug testing. It's a big difference.
hey, the only difference is you've won one during the 2000s and they haven't won anything since the 90s. So that's the only difference.
Oh, yeah. Before drug testing, that's the difference.
Hey, Bengals were just there 2 years ago, and we're almost there last year. And in some people's eyes, and I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for an AFC win, go to the Super Bowl for the Bengals. But again, it goes through fucking Kansas City. We're not gonna lie, AFC goes through fucking Kansas City no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, we got Aaron Rodgers and the Jets fucking coming into town. And we'll talk about that one here in a little bit. But let's move on. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We're rambling on about this game and just talking shit. So let's go. Let's go with Tennessee and New Orleans. And from watching the Saints in preseason, their defense is going to be up there where they were back when they won the Super Bowl. It's going to be a top they're going to be a great defense. They're going to be a bunch. They're going to be a handful for a lot of teams. And
Yeah,
this 3-point favorite, I mean,
it's
it's a
if they
slap.
can
It's a slap in the face to them, honestly.
maybe. I mean, this is the thing. This is how it is now. I mean, maybe. I mean, because Derrick Henry, regardless of what it is, it's Derrick Henry. He's going to be a handful. So if you stack the box on him, if DeAndre Hopkins is a sliver of what he used to be,
But
that's a
who?
that's
But who's going to throw him the ball? You can trust a
mm,
you can trust a rookie quarterback, and I wrote it down. What is his name?
no, it's
Levitt,
still Ryan Tannehill.
Levis and Willis as backups because Ryan Tannehill's arm is not what it was. You've seen
Yeah, but
last year. Yes, he was dealing with injuries, but even what was it 2 years ago? Whenever they came in, they were first seed in the league in AFC coming into the playoffs, and then they met up with Cincinnati, and Cincinnati just destroyed them coming out of the box. And
hmm
I mean, Ryan Tannehill is not that guy. I mean, you could see it
Oh,
last
that's
year.
proven.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because of the injuries last year. He couldn't plant his foot. I don't know what it was, but he just wasn't getting the ball to his receivers. And honestly, Tennessee is a place wide receivers go to retire. Look at Julio Jones. I mean, yes, is Julio there this year? I don't even know
I
if he re-signed this
don't even
year.
know.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure, but I mean, Tennessee needs to do something. And yes, I mean, I like Mike Vrabel. He's a great coach. He's a player's coach, but you need to figure out if you're gonna play Levis or Willis because Tannehill's not that guy.
yeah. I mean, Derek Carr. They're missing Alvin Kamara because he's getting suspended for that whole. I don't know how that worked. How do you get suspended a year later though?
Because he had to wait for his trial date and
Okay.
to
Yeah.
hear what was going on at his trial, and because the trial date kept getting pushed back and all that, so that way he could finish playing last year. And then they were kind of hoping, all right, well, let's get him suspended for a couple of preseason games, but Goodell ain't gonna play that shit. You got to
Yeah,
go.
he's
You
trying to get paid. He gets
Yeah,
paid off of that stuff every
yeah,
time.
you beat up three motherfuckers. Was it three people?
Nah, it was one person, and then it was like 8 people that jumped him. They jumped
Like,
that one guy.
yeah, something like that. Like, I mean, you can't go around beating people up in Vegas. I mean, unless you're Shell Sonnen. I mean, that's the only way you can go around beating people up is if you're Shell Sonnen. I mean,
Hmm
but anyways, I mean, for me, I got the Saints winning by at least 5.5 to 6.5 points. I mean, I see a touchdown here. I see Derek Carr rebounding. I see him trying to get revenge and proving not only to the Raiders or to himself, but to everybody else that, hey, I can still ball out.
Ooh. Mm. If I had to pick, if I had to pick, I would go with the Saints money line Saints. That's my. That, other than that, I'm staying away from it. But if I had to pick, Saints money line.
That's funny because I said safe money line for Saints just for a safe bet. I mean, so
That's me.
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Now this game right here, this is a toss up. This is a 1 point game. This is Chicago and Green Bay. You got Jordan Love, no Aaron Rodgers. You got Justin Fields with Chicago. Um, I'm taking Chicago, bro. Aaron Rodgers isn't there. That's the only reason why Green Bay won so many games against Chicago is because of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I haven't seen enough of Jordan Love, and what I have seen of him, I mean, he's just a decent quarterback. But
Yeah. I mean, he's just a decent quarterback, but Green Bay still has a really above average defense. And I mean, if they can contain Justin Fields from running, his arm isn't a thing. Him running is a dangerous, dangerous thing. Like he's
oh
broke,
yes,
I think, what was it, 5 runs last year for like 60 plus.
it was something
So
like that. I agree.
yeah, it was something crazy. But if they can contain him from running, they might have a chance. I would go Green Bay on this one. Only because of their defense.
Yeah,
And because it's fucking Aaron Jones. You still
see,
got Aaron Jones over there.
Yeah, I mean, you got Chicago is a 1 point favorite. I mean, so this is pretty much a coin flip on whoever you feel more
Mhm.
comfortable with. Um, Justin Fields, I mean, he looked great in preseason when he did play. It was only for a bit, but he looked like Justin Fields. I mean, everybody knows what Justin Fields can do. He's like you said, he can run the ball and break tackles and get out into the open field, and that's where he's dangerous. Um, yeah, I'm taking Chicago. You're taking Green Bay. I'll mark that one down since we're split on that. Um, Now to our next game, we got the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. And
Seattle.
it was just
Seattle.
it was just released a few, I don't know, I want to say maybe an hour ago. Cooper Cup will not be playing. He is injured. He's out of this game. I believe
Yes.
I believe Matt Stafford is going to return. I'm not too sure if he's returning
Yes.
or not.
But yeah, Cooper Cup was the only reason his career got saved. That Elon Musk stunt dummy looking motherfucker ain't gonna do shit. So yeah, Seattle. I see him throwing a lot of picks.
Wait, what Elon Musk looking motherfucker? Okay, hold on. Who are we talking about now?
Stanford. He looks like an Elon Musk stunt dummy.
Bro, if it wasn't for fucking Eli Apple, the Bengals would have won their first Super Bowl.
Mhm. It's
If
Cooper Cup because he still threw picks. So yeah, it was
well,
Cooper Cup.
I mean, and a lot of people are gonna say I'm crying about the game still. No. That fucking third down play where Logan Wilson broke it up, that was a fucking clean fucking breakup. There was no pass interference. It's the
Yeah.
fucking Super Bowl. There's been shit like that called that was worse. It
Who's
wasn't
no,
called.
no, it wasn't. Who's that? That was the Saints and that was the Rams.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there was worse shit not called,
Yeah.
and you're calling a great fucking play for LA for the hometown team, which is bullshit. But that was 2 years ago. Everybody's moved on from that. Um, I just see LA's coming off of the worst season of a team that won the Super Bowl the year before, and that's saying a lot. I mean, they didn't score no points. They had nobody on their team. Um, they went all in on that 1 year, and
Yeah,
they're
Von
hurt.
Miller's gone.
Yeah,
Uh, there's no Jalen Ramsey.
you could
Bobby
do.
Wagner.
You
Bobby
could
Wagner's back with the Seattle Seahawks too.
you could deal without Jalen Ramsey. That dude gets burnt every game. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm tired of hearing Jalen Ramsey is a top 5 corner. He used to be a top 5 corner. He is not a top 5 corner anymore. He may be top 10 pushing it. He may not even be 15 or 20. He gets burnt deep almost every play. And I'm tired of these cornerbacks because a quarterback fucking overthrows the ball or doesn't make it there. And these cornerbacks fucking celebrating like they did something. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Can't get that on me. Like, bro, it was a quarterback's fault. Shut up. You did nothing but stand there. And if the ball was thrown on target, it would have been a catch and you would have been looking stupid. So, I mean, but back to the Rams and the Seahawks. Yeah, I see Seattle coming out. Geno Smith, he's gonna come out hot. You still got DK Metcalf, you still got Tyler Lockett, you got Rashad Penny gonna be back there. I mean,
No, Kenneth Walker. The,
is it
yeah,
Kenneth Walker? Well, I mean,
yeah,
you're gonna have Rashad Penny still back there with him. I mean, it's gonna be that
yeah.
1-2
Kenneth
punch, but
Walker is he's the truth.
I see that's how much I know about Seattle. And I
Yeah,
apologize. I should have done more research on that. But yes, I still got Seattle winning by at least a touchdown. And that's
definitely.
I mean, safe bet 3 points or go money line, depending on what the odds are.
Uh, yeah, 2.5 safe bet. Or money line, or you pushing it touchdown. I'm definitely doing touchdown.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, and we're gonna break some news right now that just came out as literally as we're making this video. Nick Bosa and the Niners agree to a 5-year, $170 million extension, including 122.5 million guaranteed,
Mm-mm-mm.
and it makes him the highest paid player by a wide margin.
Oh yeah.
Hold it Holdout is over, and Bosa is likely to play against Pittsburgh.
35 a year. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it. He's a bad man. I mean, that defense now, I'm telling you, Niners are gonna beat Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh for the win.
Doubt it. Doubt it. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and move on from here. Let's go ahead and go with Miami and the Chargers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Miami's a 3-point underdog. Um, I mean, I get it. Yes, you got Justin Herbert, but I mean, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, they're getting a little bit up there in age. Um, you really don't. You have, is it Akers in the backfield or what's his name?
Austin Eckler.
Yeah, you got Eckler. I mean, he was wanting a trade at the end of the last year and in the free agency. I mean, he kind of wanted a deal done, but they didn't get a deal done, but they did get a deal done. So I mean, and not only that, but last year when Tua was healthy and starting, they won every game. They were undefeated for I believe it was the first 5 weeks. Um, but Miami didn't improve their O line this offseason. They did nothing in free agency to improve it. And that's a little scary for Tua. I mean, if Tua takes one more good concussion, I mean, who knows if this kid ever plays again?
Yeah, and it's a dangerous game because if he breaks out the pocket and tries to run, you got Derwin James. On one side, you got Khalil Mack. He's up there in age, but he's still very dangerous, you know?
Mm,
And then on the other side, you got Joey Bosa. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
Vertical wise, you gotta go scoring wise, you gotta go, I guess with Miami. If you're gonna go defensive, possibly the Chargers, but Justin Herbert's gonna probably do as much damage as Tua offensively. He always put up 4,500 yards a year. That's a toss-up game for me. I don't know which way I'll go.
Yeah, I mean,
I have I have no idea.
I'm me personally, Miami's gonna win by at least 3 to 5 points. Um, yes, I get it. Justin Herbert is a good player. He can throw the ball deep downfield. But when you don't have a very good run game or a very good offensive line, and you're always asking this defense to pull you out, and they're not that. I mean, yes, they're good, but they're not like a Kansas City or San Francisco or um, Baltimore, even Baltimore, because Baltimore has great defense. Like they're not that kind of defense that can, or hell, like Denver. Denver can keep you into games at 10 to 15 points, so that way your offense don't have to score that much. And I don't know. To me, Justin Herbert's not that good. He's a good player, but he's just not what everybody makes him out to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, especially with them blowing that big lead in the playoffs last year.
Yes.
Yeah, so I
Yes.
mean, I can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, so for this video, so that way, we're betting. I'm going with Miami to either cover or win.
Miami, just because, just, just because of what they did in the playoffs, the Chargers. I mean, you pretty much wasted a spot.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. You wasted a spot.
All right. So on to our next game, and we've got the Eagles and the Patriots. I mean,
Mm,
I don't understand why you only got this a 4-point game for the Eagles. I mean,
because the Patriots are the Patriots,
I,
and
I get it.
Bill
It
Belichick is he's got a It's somewhere along the lines he's got an advantage. He did something he shouldn't have probably.
Uh, I get it, but Philly's
Yeah.
hungry. I mean, they lost that Super Bowl to Kansas City. It was a great game. The Pats don't have a very good offensive line. They're just average. And
Mhm.
Philly's D line is loaded like Johnny Manziel in college. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, I don't see the Patriots covering. I honestly see Philly winning by 7 to 10 points.
I could see it, but if anything, the spread is what? 4,
Yes, 3.5.
3.5. Yeah, I would take it. I would take the Patriots just because of Bill Belichick, and it's going to be I'm thinking it's going to be a defensive game. It's going to be a low scoring defensive game. This is me. This is me. What I'm thinking. I'm just saying, but yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go 1-1 on that one. That one's split. On to Sunday Night Football, where the New York the New York Giants get to take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are 3.5 point favorites. Um, Dallas lost their offensive coordinator, so do not look for Dak Prescott to be throwing 400 yards a game, 300 yards a game. Um, Dak Dak is the highest paid quarterback that's mid grade.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things lately where they're asking people like, "Who do you think's the most overrated?" I've seen Dak like 10 times in that, or memes where, "Oh, Dak showing somebody how to throw an interception." It's been crazy, and it's sad to say that with the weapons he's had. So I thought he was going to take a better, bigger leap. I mean, him coming off that injury, showing a full season, but he's just,
He's Dak.
yeah.
Um, I mean, McCarthy wants to run the ball more. Um, we don't know what this offense is going to look like. I mean, like I said, you got new offensive coordinator coming in. You have McCarthy wanting to run the ball more, so you're gonna have Tony Pollard coming off of injury. Um,
Too slow. I know. Too
like
slow. Man. I seen him like him in precinct. Dude, he had a couple good runs and they took him out the game because it looked crazy. It looked Barry Sanders s. It looked crazy.
I mean, if you want to go back, I mean, we can go to preseason and show you what that. Well, I don't even remember the quarterback's name, but I remember the play where he won it at the end of the game, and he just it was like seven. What was it? Seven Cowboy defenders on him trying to make a tackle, and he still got the ball off and threw it for
Hmm.
a touchdown to win the game. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
yes, it's preseason. I get it. Honestly, this game is honestly a coin flip. I mean, we haven't even talked about Saquon Barkley playing, Daniel Jones. We
Darren
haven't,
Waller.
yeah, they got Darren Waller. We haven't even talked about the Giants, but no matter what, this is going to be a toss up game. But I do see Dallas winning this game. I hate saying it. I love watching Dallas lose. It's almost like watching Pittsburgh fans lose. It's great.
It's rare to see, but yeah.
You're gonna see. I'm telling you, you're gonna see your first losing season, and I even told you, when was it? I told you, mark it down. We're gonna. Oh, it's been the past 2 years. I've been telling you we're gonna win the fucking division again, and you never believe me. And I have to take screenshots, and at the end of the season, I gotta send them back to you and remind you I was right. But
Yeah.
back to the Giants and back to this Dallas and Giants game. Um, like I said, Dak Prescott's only mid. He's a mid-grade quarterback. He threw 15 interceptions last year. I mean, it's honestly a coin flip. I I don't know where else to go with it. I mean, how do you see this game playing out?
Mhm. Being with only two weapons, I see Dallas winning too. Because only Saquon Barkley and Darren Waller. The rest of their receivers for the Giants, I mean, they pretty much robbed the bank on them. Like Kenny Galladay, he was getting 19 a year. He's only had, I think, what, 400 yards the last two seasons. Um, yeah. With
Yeah,
Dallas's defense and the weapons they have on offense, I see Dallas winning.
I do.
Dallas money line.
I do too. I see Dallas winning. I don't know about the spread. I mean,
Yeah,
I
money line.
literally have stay away from this game on bets again.
Yeah.
So I mean, you never know. Um, and this is gonna be our last game that we're gonna talk about right now. Um, we got Monday Night Football with Buffalo versus the Jets. Um, Buffalo is a 2.5 point favorite, 3 point game. Honestly, I see the Jets winning it. I mean, everybody's on this hype train for the Jets because of Hard Knocks and Aaron Rodgers and how he's been acting and being, with his teammates and everything. But I, I see them. I actually see them beating Buffalo. I don't believe in Buffalo. They've been all hype for the last 2 seasons. I mean, hell, a lot of these mainstream sportscasters are still saying that it's Buffalo's year to win the Super Bowl this year, and it's definitely not. I mean, their window was 2 years ago and last year, and they blew it. In my eyes, that's how I see it. Um,
Mhm.
Stephon Diggs doesn't even want to be there. I mean, he was wanting a trade. I mean, there's rumors of a trade, and
Oh yeah.
that's one of that is their best offensive weapon besides Josh Allen himself. But even
Josh Allen,
but
Dawson
even
Knox, James Cook, which brothers are going against each other at
yeah,
running back.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I just see the Jets pulling it out at the end.
Defensive wise, the Jets have a nasty, crazy defense, especially with Sauce Garner. Oh, it's hard to say.
And then you got Mosley that's gonna be down in there
Yeah.
at linebacker. I mean,
Trayvon Evans, I mean Edmonds, their best linebacker. He's pretty much
mhm.
like a linebacker safety for the Bills. He left, and went to Chicago.
Jordan Poyer is, I believe he left, didn't he? Or did he re-resign with the Bills?
He's still there.
Yeah, I know I know he was in free agency for a little bit, but I wasn't sure. I don't remember who he signed with.
I would
Um,
still, just because of, I don't know. I don't think that the chemistry is going to kick in just right yet with the Jets. I still give them a couple weeks before they actually lock in and get adjusted because they only had a few drives on offense in preseason, and preseason was half speed and a real game is totally different. So I'm gonna give this one to the Bills.
okay, so we're split on this one.
Hmm.
I mean, actually, we're not really split. I mean, I say safe bet is Buffalo. Um, but to me, I mean, the Jets were in a lot of games last year with Zach Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers is a 10 times upgrade from it from
Yeah.
Zach Wilson. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because Buffalo's a. I mean, they're both AFC, but yeah, I want to see. I got the Jets. I got them covering, if not winning. I see it coming down to the final play of the game.
Yeah, I mean it's a toss up. It's gonna be a toss up game either way it goes. So yeah.
It is. And then Saturday, we also have fights going on. We got UFC 293, I believe.
Hmm.
Um, and that's gonna be Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland in the main event, and then Tai Tuivasa or Tuivasa, however you say it. Um, he's going up against, oh, what's that guy's name? What do you remember the guy's name?
Vaco is V something, but yeah.
Yeah, These are 6 picks that I'm going with that should win. I put a $2 bet in, win $150. What's gonna hurt? Now I'm gonna give you guys these ones for free. These ones are gonna be free. I'm just gonna give them out. We got Tyson Pedro, he's gonna win. Carlos Ulberg, he's gonna win. Mike Mathita, he'll win. Of course, Ty Tuivasa, he's gonna win. Kevin Jowsett, Shane Young, and Izzy.
Izzy's
You just put them. I mean, yeah, Izzy is a -600, but if you just flat out money line, put that in. I believe it's a 7. Yeah, 7 fight parlay. $2 wins you $150. You can ask this guy. I've sent him the last 3 of my UFC fights, and I believe I'm only the Chris Weidman fight fucked me.
Yeah.
And that's the only fight. And I believe out of 14 fights that I've picked so far, I'm only down 1. So let's see if we can keep this UFC fight on a roll. Those are my 7 picks. Those are my free ones. If you guys can, hit that subscribe button, hit the likes, share this video with everybody. Thank you guys for supporting everybody coming back and returning for these videos. And hopefully everybody gets some wins this weekend. Hopefully we can do a lot better, and it's gonna be a great fucking weekend for some gambling. I can tell you that. Like you got tomorrow night with Thursday night football, plus you got some college games kicking off, and then you got some college games kicking off Friday night. We also have high school football. I don't remember who Artesia's playing this week, but I believe it's a home game. I believe they play Lovington. I'm not sure, or Cleveland, one of the two. But I'll get back with everybody on that. And then we got Saturday college football, UFC 293 Saturday night, and Sunday night football, or all day Sunday football. Like
we're back.
Like what can be greater? This is the beginning of September. Everybody's going to be out partying and having a good time, and it's just a great a great weekend to be a sports fan, not just a fan of a certain team, but a sports fan, period. We didn't even get a chance to talk about baseball. We didn't even get a chance to talk about some soccer. I mean, we have so much we could talk about. If you guys just let us know down in the comments so that way we know what you guys want to hear and everything else. So until next week, good luck on your bets and stay safe this weekend, guys.